Let's continue. Well, I guess I can't expect much from newbies. Okay, your toes on the house this time around. You can thank your face for that. Aren't you glad I'm not doing the voices? The boy had spent most of the conversation staring at Akira's face. He appeared to have taken quite a liking to it.
ついでに何か聞きたいこととかある？教えられることなら教えてあげる。
For free? That sounded like showing compassion to an enemy! Not starting a fight here was one thing, but offering to lend them a hand, it sparked unavoidable suspicion. Okay, we're starting to think the same, Akira and I. Even Keisuke, who was not the suspicious type, gave Akira an uneasy glance. Yet, while Akira sensed that there must be some kind of scheme involved, taking the bait was still an option if it meant he might acquire some information. Yep. At any rate, this was his only lead. That thought made him open his mouth, ending this tense silence that had fallen.
どこか武器が手に入るところを知らないか。
Ooh, that's smart because it like shows off that, oh, I don't have a weapon. Oh, I'm so defenseless. But in reality, he does have a weapon, but he needs a second one.
武器？
Aside from his body, that is a lethal weapon. It bothered him that Keisuke didn't have a weapon. He couldn't keep Akira's knife forever.
武器ね。
Maybe take a knife from the body of a dead enemy. The boy seemed to consider this. Akira wasn't really expecting an answer. He knew that such shops had to exist as long as people lived here. There would be those who sold them what they needed. But even though everyone likely knew where they were, there would be an ironclad rule not to mention them. Also, you don't have any currency, because the only currency that will fly in a place like this is probably like, you know, favors and food. Furthermore, Akira was an Igra fighter. Igra fighter? An Igra fighter. Igra fighter. Igra? Igra or Igra? Which one is better? I'm not sure. Igra. Igra fighter. In other words, a potential enemy. It would be foolish for the boy to give him any information that might literally be used to stab him in the back.
なんで？まさか素手ってわけじゃないよね。まあスタイルにもよるだろうけど。
Fuck me, right?
俺じゃない。こっちだ。
He pointed his chin at Keisuke with the decency to look embarrassed.
ああ、参加してない方の兄さんか。何も持ってないの？
The decency to look embarrassed.
ああ。
そっか。じゃあさ、こんなのはどう？
The boy fished through his waist pouch, then grabbed something and held it out. It was a folding knife, the kind that snapped open with the push of a button. With the blade extended, it was about 20 centimeters long. Woo! I have a folding knife, but, well, mine's a cart knife, so it's different. But still, like, it's 20 centimeters. Woo-wee!
これだったら初心者でも扱いやすいし、軽いし、あげるよ。
For what price? Keisuke waved both hands in front of his face, startled by the boy's casual offer.
いやいや、もらうのは悪いか
Just
ら。
ask the price, bro.
だってさ、めったに使わないし、いいよ。
Girly boy, just tell us. Keisuke continued his puppy-eyed protests a little while longer, but finally extended his hand. Never accept it without asking the price first. Oh my god, you dumbass.
どういたしまして。
No, the boy grinned proudly. Oh, even if it was a spare, it was very generous of him to give this knife to a total stranger. Akira could not begin to comprehend the boy's intentions.
じゃあこれ返さなきゃ。はい。
This dude, I swear to God. Keisuke pulled Akira's knife from his backpack and handed it over. Akira took it and thrust it back through his belt.
貸しにしといてあげる。いつか返して。
Oh, open-ended favors. The boy's lips spread into an enticing smile.
体で。
You know, that's not too bad. Ooh, Keisuke yelped. Virgin.
なんだよそ
I'm
れ。
a virgin too. What am I talking
だ
about?
って君男だろ。
So what, Keisuke?
やだな。何マジになってんの？冗談だよ。
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to your pretty friend. The boy cackled at the sour expression on Keisuke's face. Ooh. And then out of the blue, he pulled at Akira's arm. Oh, it's so cute. Look at this. Sorry. It's so cute. Look at him. Oh. even Shadow the Hedgehog over here is kind of flustered. I like him. The boy tugged at Akira in Keisuke's arms, pulling them close, then looked up at them with an incorrigible smile. I like him. Akira had no idea how to handle this display of unearned affection. He sighed, confusion giving way to irritation. He's like Saiki Kuso, not giving anything but receiving
せっ
everything.
かくだから参加すれば兄さんも
Ooh,
何に
I can't fight, little boy.
イグラに
No
さ
thanks. It is Igra.
いくら
Keisuke's eyes went as wide as saucers.
それこそ冗談だろう無理に決まってる
True.
そんなの参加してみなきゃわかんないっしょ
No
ね
No thanks, bunny boy. The boy looked to Akira for agreement, but frankly, Akira didn't want Keisuke to get involved. It would just make things harder. Yeah. Perhaps sensing this from Akira's expression, Keisuke redoubled his protests.
ほらな無理だって俺だって参加なんかしたくない
だってさ
Datte nani. The boy waggled his boot-clad toes suggestively. What? What? Huh? How? What? Wait, what? There's so much weirdness here. The boy waggled his boot-clad toes suggestively. How does that even work?
この町じゃさいつ死んだっておかしくないんだよイグラに参加してようとしてなかろうとさだったら楽しんだ方がいいじゃん
Yeah, but also like why put a target on your back if you're already a walking target, you know? It's like, nah, girl. His words carried enough weight to make Keisuke fall silent. For a moment it seemed that the boy's big eyes were no longer smiling, but that expression vanished as quickly as it came, morphing into a grin so quickly that Akira doubted what he'd seen. Suddenly, a warmth enveloped them. It was Keisuke. He pissed himself.
とりあえず説明だけでも受けてみたらアルビトロンとこ行ってさってそっちの兄さんから詳しいことは聞いてるかな
Arbitro? That man, Gwen had mentioned his name during his explanation. Arbitro was the man who ran Igra. In order to challenge Ire, Akira would have to bring the tags he'd gathered to Arbitro. But he didn't know where to find the man, or for that matter, where the fight with Ire would take place.
行くだけ行ってみろよ
Keisuke froze with a look of disbelief in his eyes.
アキラまで
Oh my god.
そうそう男なら度胸行くだけ言っとけ
Oh, bro, nah, fam. Keisuke shot Akira a brief, resentful glare. Then let his shoulders drop. He looked so crestfallen that Akira felt sorry for him.
じゃあ決定かないい行っちゃうよ
Sure. The boy who had started off down the street suddenly turned around.
そういやさ俺リンって言うんだけど、
Rin, okay.
兄さんたちは
Was it safe to reveal their names? Akira considered this for a moment. Ultimately, he had a feeling that it was pointless to worry about the boy, Rin's motives. He would never be able to tell whether Rin's friendliness was an act, and forcing himself to remain alert in such a disarming presence would only wear him out. Also, like, aren't names utterly useless in this place? It shouldn't matter, right?
アキラだこっちはケイスケ
アキラとケイスケね
Rin resumed walking with a spring in his step. As they followed behind, a pale Keisuke drew closer to Akira, whispering,
おいアキラどういうつもりだよ
What did you come here for then?
一言も言ってない
Like,
ぞ
why are you here exactly? I still don't
成り行き
understand.
だろ登録必須ってわけでもないだろうし説明だけ聞いて帰ってくればいいもし登録必須だったら
Then you're fucked, Keisuke. That's all I can
トイレ
say.
にでも駆け込んでそのまま逃げてこいよ
Oh my god. Like a dine and dash. Well, it isn't. It really
何
isn't.
よ何話してんの
Rin stopped and looked back with a puzzled expression.
いやなんでもない
Keisuke shook his head and forced a friendly smile.
ああそうそうさっきの通行料の話嘘だから
What? So are you like Omakun? Like Kokichi from Danganronpa 3?
嘘
Lie.
そう
He's the supreme leader. I'm telling you, he's like of a evil organization. That's who he is. Rin nodded like it was nothing. What had he hoped to gain from such a lie? Or had it been nothing more than a whim? There was truly no way to tell. I mean, I feel like the lie in the first place wasn't that weird. It's more weird that he's just telling them without being asked out of the blue. That was a lie, by the way. What? Akira shook his head and followed after Rin, pointedly ignoring the reproachful looks that Keisuke kept sending his way. Oh my god! They continued deeper into the red light district, turning once down another road before proceeding straight. According to Rin, this was the shortcut to their destination, which was apparently known as the Palace. You know what? For all we know, Rin could be the leader of an evil mega organization thing. So he could be leading us into an ambush. Just saying. Rin wound his way through the dark alleys without slowing down. Perhaps the pace was due in part to the short distance involved. But watching him, Akira began to think that maybe it was safer in general to move about briskly rather than slowly and carefully as they had before. That makes sense. They reached the main road without any trouble. There, Rin spun around and held out a hand, grinning.
正面に見えるのが悪の組織ビスキオノス、通称白でございます。
Vischio, not Vischio. Ah, now I think about it, it's English, right? German coded brain. Vischio, right? No, Vischio. Okay. I'm gonna do that. Ah, Akira thought, of course. A structure from another age stood there, dignified even in its dinginess. Stairs swept ostentatiously towards the front entrance. Huge black doors embedded with glass stood ready to welcome visitors. Even the windows were covered by velvet curtains. Like a theater? In the courtyard, there was a lit circular fountain with a statue of a nude, wistful boy gazing heavenward at its center, possibly an homage to the work of some famous sculptor. Guards stood in orderly lines on both sides of the stairs, wearing heavy body armor and carrying guns. He could see why they called it the palace. So there's guns here because he's not part of the game, probably, right? He's like the administrator, so he's allowed guns while everyone else isn't. Huge.
確かね、対戦前は多目的なイベントホールとして使われてたんじゃなかったかな、ここ。
Yeah.
演劇とかコンサートとか展覧会とかそういうやつの。で、対戦後幅を利かせたビスキオ一味が占拠しちゃったってわけ。中はね、もうカオスよ、カオス。
カオス。
行けばわかるって。
Rin made a face and shrugged his shoulders, then continued toward the palace. Akira and Keisuke followed. Why would Rin come with us if it's so bad? Why would he come with us? They passed by the fountain and climbed the stairs leading up to the entrance.
お勤めご苦労様です。
Rin gave the guards at the entrance a friendly wave.
何の用だ?
To be annoying!
イグラ参加希望です。
The guard glanced hard from Akira to Keisuke, then eyed Rin's dog tag.
お前はすでに参加しているようだが。
俺じゃないって、後ろ後ろ。青いつなぎ着てる、おおらかそうな兄ちゃん。
ああ、
Keisuke shrank in on himself.
いいだろう。どうだ?
Sorry, but like,
玄関ホールで待つように。
couldn't one, you know, one specific person, like couldn't you just kind of like bring a bunch of friends, everyone joined the game, and then you just took their tags? Like, you wouldn't even have to fight anyone, right? That is totally possible, because everyone gets 5 tags in the beginning, right? There's like, sorry.
Hi hi.
As the door swung solemnly open, a surreal vista unfolded before them. Hey, hello, I know you. The hall they stepped into was wide and open, with a vaulted ceiling and a floor of pink marble. Just inside the entrance was a small fountain burbling with cool, clear water. Nice! Can we drink it? The decor was far more luxurious than it had appeared from outside. An enormous chandelier hung overhead, emitting dazzling light. Oh my god, they probably have working bathrooms. Oh my god. Yeah, let's just stay here. The space was littered with suits of medieval armor and other ostentatious works of art. I've never seen the word ostentatious being used this much, ever. Of particular note were the statues of young boys, as these were especially common. Perhaps they were all part of the same collection. Not a single statue in the room was female. Well, everyone has a preference. Keisuke, who appeared to be experiencing sensory overload, kept gaping at the second floor. I was like, he's gaping right here.
何度来てもほんと趣味悪いよここ。どういう改造してんだよ。あの変態はさ。
Perv? Ay. Rin let out a heavy sigh like he couldn't decide whether to be disgusted or impressed. I have a horrible memory resurface from one of the fan arts I've seen. I hope it's not how it was depicted in that fan thing. But it could be a horrible, horrible, horrible dog person upstairs. No, he's not horrible, but just like not something I particularly enjoy seeing. Keep your weird kinks in the bedroom, please. After some time, a black-suited man shaped like a boulder emerged from the back. Gotta go. Keisuke went stiff, his eyes cast downward. Rin shot him a glance. Me. Once Keisuke timidly raised his hand, the man passed him a white object. Excuse me. The man had given him a pure white mask, which was shaped so as to cover the upper half of his face. What the fuck? Keisuke frowned as he looked at the mask, his expression saying that he'd really rather not.
他にも参加希望のやついるからね。いきなり顔分かっちゃうのも微妙じゃん。
Oh!
まあ、変っちゃ変だよね。
What? Why? You're all wearing your dog tags out for everyone to see. What would a face matter at this point, right?
他の二人は
もう参加してるんで、付き添いです。
As Rin gave his tag a shake, Akira pulled his own out from where it had been hiding beneath his jacket.
いいだろう。ついてこい。
Confirming that Keisuke had put the mask on, the guard set off down the corridor that led to the back, past the spiral staircase. Rin gaped at the masked Keisuke. Akira too found his eyes nailed in place.
いや、分かってるとはいえ、やっぱ変だよね。まあ、アルビトロ様の趣味だし、仕方ないんだけどさ。
Ew, he likes it? Oh. Keisuke gave Akira a searching sideways glance. By the way, I'm not reacting like this because I think kinks are disgusting or something. You know, I'm kinky myself. It's fine. Everyone has a kink, or two, or three. It's fine. It's just when a kink of someone is being forced upon someone who doesn't want any part of it. Also, keep your fucking kinks in the bedroom, you know? Anyway, Keisuke gave Akira a searching sideways glance. Akira didn't let it show on his face, but considering the palace's decor and all, he was starting to wonder what kind of person this Arbitro really was. I don't want to know. At the very end of the hallway stood a pair of black double doors, chains wrapped 2 to 3 layers deep around its handles. The guard brought them to the room just before. This has given me a lot of like Final Fantasy VII vibes. If you know, you know. From what he could see through the door, it looked like a waiting room with a table and 2 sofas in the middle. It wasn't especially spacious. About 5 or 6 men were waiting inside. All were wearing masks like Keisuke's, and all of them seemed nervous. As Keisuke entered, they turned to stare at him with silent trepidation. Although their faces were hidden, it was obvious from their physiques and the way they carried themselves that they were no strangers to violence. Oh, goody. Ooh, a goody. See you never, Keisuke. The door gradually began to close. Oh yeah! In response to Keisuke's desperate look, Rin waved him a cheerful farewell. Akira merely nodded. Well. The door shut, and after a momentary silence, the sound of approaching footsteps echoed off the marble floor. Big cheese? What? Together with Rin's mocking whisper, a man appeared from the far end of the corridor. The moment he saw him, Akira was dumbstruck. Well... The man who was accompanied by several guards was the king of bad taste. Oh my gosh. He was wearing a white suit with white gloves. His shirt was crimson, his necktie was yellow-green, and atop it all, he had swathed himself in a piece of vibrant purple fur. Yeah, I don't know, bro. This like color theory is very much against this. Beneath his bleached and frazzled hair, he wore a mask reminiscent of yet far more gaudy than the one Keisuke had received. As a whole, his outfit evinced an aesthetic sensibility utterly beyond human comprehension. It certainly explained a thing or two about the decor in this place. Oh! His henchmen were dressed in similar garb, which clashed sharply with the matte black machine guns hanging from their shoulders. Was this man really the host of Igra? From beneath the mask, two snake-like eyes peered out at Rin and Akira. He seems to be checking them for tags, but Akira sensed the man's eyes lingering on his body longer than necessary. He shivered in revulsion. Ew!
参加希望者の付き添いですか。
Companions.
ご苦労様です。すぐに終わりますので、しばしお待ちを。あなた方も健闘を祈りますよ。
Okay. Well, this makes sense. This makes sense. His voice was as syrupy as his gaze. Leaving behind a superficially polite smile, the man vanished inside the waiting room together with his underlings. So that really was Arbitro.
キモいよね、あいつ。蛇みたいな目でジロジロ見やがってさ。
I don't want to find out.
変態そのものって感じ。
You know what? I don't want to find out, okay?
そうだな。
ね、アキラもそう思ったっしょ。イルレがいなきゃ何もできないくせにさ。まるでビスキオは自分のものって感じ。
Ooh. Now everything gets to come out into the open, I guess. Encouraged by Akira's agreement, Rin let out a contemptuous snort. What was taking place inside the waiting room? Recording their citizen numbers, explaining the rules of the tournament. It probably stopped there, but the fact that Arbitro was so bizarre gave Akira some cause for worry. He decided to ask Rin for more information. This would also help to kill time.
あいつ大丈夫なのか。
へ？何が？
Oh my god.
何か妙なことしたり。
Ooh, stop thinking, Akira. I don't like where this is going.
見るからに変態っぽいもんね。変態を突っ走るって感じだもんね。でもさすがに参加希望者に手を出すことはないと思うよ。あいつも一応仕事とプライベートの分別くらいはつくみたいだし。
Well. At this point, Rin frowned.
まあどうだかわかんないけどね。奴隷とか好きらしいし。
Okay. Although you can't be sure, they say he's into slaves. What? Oh.
奴隷？
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. A disquieting word. Yeah. Yeah.
そうそう。タグの交換で
He
さ。
trades them
で
for tags?
参加したばっかだからわかんないか。アルビトロもそこはっきり説明しないしね。
Wait, what? So like, excuse me. You could just knock someone out. You know, take their tags and their dignity. And then just drag them here to Arbitro for extra tags? Oh, fuck me. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's just change that expression.
余ったタグをアルビトロのとこに持ってくとさ、景品と交換してくれんのよ。1枚から金。でさ、景品って麻薬、酒、金、いろいろあってね。まあ強いタグに応じて変わるんだけど、その中にさ、あるんだよね。
So tags are the currency in this world. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow. Okay. Huh. What about food? I'm sorry I'm getting back to this all the time, but like that would be my first priority, like finding a sustainable water source. At this last part, Rince lowered his voice into a theatrical whisper.
何が？
だから奴隷だよ。敗者は処刑人に見つかると始末されちゃうけどさ、顔がアルビトロ好みだと殺さずに回収されちゃうことがあって、奴隷に仕立て上げられて景品として出されちゃうわけ。
And you let me bring Keisuke into this game? Are you fucking serious?
で、その調教をさ、奴がやってるって噂。
Okay. Executioners, though the name didn't leave much to the imagination, Akira wondered what their duties were in actuality. He contemplated asking, but if it were common knowledge for Igra participants, the question might make Rin suspicious. He let it pass without comment.
悪趣味だな。
Yeah.
ほんと死んだ方がまだマシと。
Yeah. Oh, fuck. So, kind of like if you're going to lose anyway, just mutilate your face. Just then, or shank yourself. Just then the door opened and Arbitro came out. Rin immediately fell silent.
ご機嫌に。
Oh, no! After giving them a lavish smile, Arbitro disappeared down the hallway with his men. Newly inducted fighters, tags hanging down over their chests, began to exit the room. Their eyes were proud and eager beneath their masks. For some reason, though, they left the room one at a time with a long pause after each. Confused by this, he was about to enter the room when Rin stopped him.
忘れちゃった。10分間隔で1人ずつ部屋から退出するの。乱闘防止のさ。
Ui.
こんなとこで戦ったらすぐに警備員に撃ち殺されて終わりだけどね。
Okay.
はあ、忘れてた。
Inwardly flustered, Akira drew back and waited for Keisuke to emerge. He ended up waiting for almost half an hour! Finally, Keisuke, the last to leave, shuffled out with drooping shoulders. Oh, baby, I'm so fucking sorry. If I knew, I wouldn't have brought you here. Oh, oh, now he's stuck. Oh, no. Oh, God. Rin peered up at his face with a teasing smile. Rin did this on purpose, you know? He knew that Keisuke would be kept. Oh, fuck.
タグは結局登録はどうしたのさ。
Please say no. Please say no.
やめておい
I
た。
couldn't. What? Keisuke mumbled, dropping his eyes to the floor.
ああ、でもやっぱりね。そんなへっぴり腰じゃ無理だと思ってたのよ、俺。
What? Rin smacked Keisuke on the small of his back.
叩くことない
He
だ
could
ろ。
refuse? I didn't expect him to be able to refuse.
アルビトロはなんて言ってた？
気が向いたらまたいつでもどうぞ。歓迎です。
For some reason, I don't believe you. Keisuke spoke with a rueful smile as if remembering how Arbitro had looked.
あいつの気になる動きが目に浮かぶ。
まあ、無事に戻ってこられてよかったな。
なんだよそれ。
奴隷趣味があるらしい。
Sorry, wait. I'm glad you made it out. Okay. Yeah.
奴隷？
Keisuke frowned like he couldn't believe his ears.
奴隷ってなんだよ。
No, don't ask. Don't ask. Just don't, okay? Whatever you're
奴隷
thinking,
は奴隷。
that's what it is.
ああ、終わったんならとっとと行くよ。ここいるとなんか痒くなってくる。
Rin grimaced theatrically, scratching himself on the throat, and walked off swiftly toward the entrance.
おい。たく、本当に勝手だな。
Well, yeah. Also, can we establish Rin's age, please? Because they call him kid, but I feel like... What is Rin's age? Hang on. Let me just... Togainu no chi. Oh my god, there's even his citizen number. I'm just scared to find spoilers. No confirmed ages, but all of the main boys live pretty adult lives with jobs, etc. They are for sure portrayed as nothing but over 18. Rin is portrayed as short and feminine, but not a child at all, so there's no need to worry on that. Okay! Thank you! This game is awesome. It is also bloody violent and skews the moral compass. Okay, let's get back. As they followed after Rin, Keisuke turned to look at Akira.
アキラ、
Oh.
ごめん。
Sorry for what? For lying and you actually did join? And you want to give me your
なんで謝るんだよ。
tags?
いや、だっ
You
て。
actually joined, didn't you? Though you wouldn't say it, Akira was glad that Keisuke had decided not to participate. Keisuke could barely hold his own in a fist fight. There was no way he'd be able to handle this. Keisuke gave Akira a long, droopy-eyed look, then lowered his gaze. He fucking joined. I'm calling it right now. He joined, and he's like, I'm gonna give my tags to Akira, baby. After returning Keisuke's mask to the gods and exiting the building, they descended the stairs to the street. Rin twirled around to face them.
ねえねえ、あのさ、俺ちょっとこれから知り合いに会いに行くんだけど、一緒に行く？
What do you mean by that? Who? What? Why?
ちょっと頼まれてたものがあってね。いろいろ詳しいおっさんなんだけどさ、紹介してあげるよ。知り合っといて損はないと思うよ。
Yeah, but what? Why? Why would you? What? Akira's first thought was to suspect an ulterior motive. He still didn't understand why Rin was so friendly. When Akira didn't respond, large eyes gazed up at him from below.
何か企んでるとか考えてるだろう。俺はさ、結構長いこといぐらやってるから退屈してきちゃったわけ。
Leave.
飽き気味なのよ。
Well, it's probably his job. I don't know. Whatever.
飽き気味殺し合い
Hey,
の
Kitty. Oh, Koki has joined us.
そうだよ。だって俺強いもん。
Hell yeah. I want to see him fight. Keisuke seemed taken aback by Rin's nonchalant assertion.
タグ欲しければその辺の雑魚やっちゃえばいいんだしさ。わざわざカリカリすることなし。アキラたちにだってそんな話じゃないっしょ。
それはまあそうだけど。
Is he just helping us because he wants something from Akira?
じゃあ行こうよ。
Oh, I don't know. I really like Rin, but I'm also very, very apprehensive. Keisuke gave Akira a beseeching look. He clearly wasn't satisfied with Rin's explanation. Oh, shocking. Neither was Akira, for that matter. But now that they had set foot in Toshima, death would mean a constant threat, no matter how much they tried to avoid it. Yeah, might as well go with them. That being the case, it couldn't hurt to make use of Rin's contacts, see what they could learn. If Rin did anything too shady, they could always leave. Koki, what are you doing? Sorry, my kitty is distracting me. And cuddling with my screen. I don't know why. Having reached this conclusion, Akira nodded.
行こ
アキラ
Ignoring Keisuke's troubled expression, he followed Rin back into the labyrinth of alleyways. Once they were sure that no one else was around, Rin ran off to find a phone. Apparently, the person they were looking for was hard to pin down, so Rin wanted to make sure of his current location. Akira has a phone. After the war had rendered mobile phones virtually useless... What? But Akira has a phone. They told him he had a phone. Landlines had once again returned to the limelight. Still working ones were hard to come by. Still working ones were hard to come by. Okay. The communicator Emma had given him was wireless. Yeah, see? Like a cell phone, but it was supposedly much more reliable. It could even pick up radio waves, he'd been told. Oh my god, extra. It was shortly before sunset, and the sky was swept with orange and blue. Akira and Keisuke leaned against opposite walls as they awaited Rin's return.
う。どうだった？参加登録。
あ
He's gonna reveal the tags. I'm telling you right now. Keisuke's expression darkened slightly.
あ、とりあえず簡単なルール説明があって、適当な質疑応答があって、あの変な仮面のアルビトロだっけ？あいつが妙に大げさだったぐらいかな。
それだけ? Akira could easily imagine Arbitro's theatrics.
聞いてきたこと話そうか。
Yeah! I would! Gwen's explanation had been a little too concise. His face still dark, Keisuke looked down for a while before finally speaking.
まず、このタグゲームはポーカー形式になっている。これは知ってるだろう。
あ
ある5種類の組み合わせでタグを揃えるとイルレへの挑戦権を獲得できる。
知ってる。
それじゃあ処刑人のことは？
What about them?
詳しくは知らない。
そっか。まあなんだろう。ルール違反者の死
Rule
刑執行
breakers?
人
What
ってやつかな。
rules? Like the no gun rule?
不定期にトシマを周回してるらしくて、エグラのルールから違反してるやつを見つけたら即始末する。
The no
つまり
gun rule? What
殺
other
すっ
rule
て
is
こ
there?
とらしい。違反ってのは重火器の所持、
Yeah, okay.
目撃者のいないバトル、闇討ちとか卑怯な手段を使うとか、
What?
あとはイグラを危険することとか。
What the what? Oh my god, imagine like they didn't tell us these very, very, very integrally important rules. Fighting unfairly, ambushes and such is not prohibited. Oh my god, I would die immediately. And trying to quit is not prohibited. That is... Oh, that's so fucked up. Oh no. Well, so... Because like my entire survival plan just went out the window. I would have just, you know, bow and arrow on the top of a building. Like, there is one. But yeah, that I guess that doesn't fly. Broomts. Also trying to quit. Okay, that's disconcerting.
違反者は問答無用で死刑か。
そう。それとタグの取り合いをした時の勝敗だけど、
Yeah,
背中が地面にべったりついたら負けだ。
exactly. But that doesn't mean that you have to die for losing, right?
で、勝ったやつは当然負けたやつのタ
In
グを
addition to
奪う。
that,
それ以外に
Keisuke stopped speaking and dropped his gaze to his feet. The gloom in his face grew thicker.
それ以外に
Keisuke?
なんだよ。
それ以外に負けたやつを好きにすることができるって。
Keisuke kept his gaze lowered as if the words were hard for him to say. Oh, joy. Joy. Akira could imagine why it made perfect sense.
なんて言うんだろう。
Oh my
好
god,
きにするこ
Keisuke.
とができるってのはつまり
Baby, you just realized?
無理や
You
り
just
何
realized.
か起こることもある。
You cannot be serious. Honey.
無理や
Oh my god, don't ask, please. Just think. Just before speaking, think. And then you realize your question is redundant. Keisuke shouted, his face suddenly red as a beet. Seeing this, Akira realized what he meant.
ほら、ここって女の数が極端に少ないからさ、刑務所みたいな状態だし、ただそれはアルビトロが冗談っぽく言ってたから、
Girl?
本当かどうかはわからないけど。
What do you mean joking? What? Obvious. Sorry, but what? Of course. Of course. Like, even if this wasn't a BL game, right? Of course. Akira knew that it wasn't a joke. The memory of what he'd seen the night before was still fresh in his mind. So those two had been fighters, and the victor had chosen to degrade his vanquished opponent even after he was dead. But there was no witness. Akira could understand giving winners power over losers, but what twisted lust for conquest would drive someone to defile an empty shell? Ew, I don't like how you phrase that.
でも、そういうのも負けたやつを貶める手段としては有効なんだってさ。
nah. Oh gosh.
まあ、でも確かにそうだよ。
You know, I'm very bi, but I'm turning gayer by the second.
好き嫌いの問題なのか。
Keisuke? Keisuke's voice cracked, his eyes going wide. His face was even redder than before, not because of the setting sun.
違うよ。勘違いするなよ。
You know where else
そうじゃな
the
くて。
sun doesn't shine, where the sun is always set. Ah.
勘違い。
いや、
Keisuke trailed off. After a moment or two of awkward silence, he cleared his throat and changed the topic.
あとは5枚以上で不要になったタグはアルビトロのところに持っていくと商品と交換してもらえ
You
る
need
ら
to
しい。
keep 5 tags at all times?
まあ
What?
そういう
Why?
ところかな。
When he finished speaking, Keisuke sighed loudly as though his work were finally done. It was a very unbalanced game, Akira thought. There was too wide a gap between the core rules and the ones that seemed tacked on. The fact that it worked regardless must be thanks entirely to Irei's authority.
アキラ、
When he looked up, he found Keisuke looking at him with a question in his eyes.
なんだよ。
Eee, very red. Ow, my eyes. What?
ここまで来たら今さらもう無理だって分かってる。分かってるんだけど、
What is that?
やっぱりさ、俺アキラに参加してほしくないんだ。ルール聞いてどれだけ危険なゲームなのかってこともよく分かったし。
Girl. Keisuke balled his hands into fists. A fading light outlined him in gold.
でもやめられないってことも分かってる。もう参加しちゃってるし、危険はイグラのルール違反だ。
Yeah.
それに何より命かかってるしさ。
Yeah.
それで俺いても立ってもいられなくてついここまでついてきちゃったけど、その
Bro. Keisuke muttered something indistinct, then lapsed into silence for some time before slowly lifting his face. Eyes hard with resolve stared directly into Akira's.
俺さ、イグラに参加する。
Why though? Why? Like what? Why? What the? Why? It took several seconds for Akira to process Keisuke's words. Yeah.
しなくてもいいって言ったはずだ。
俺が参加したいんだ。
嫌じゃなかったのか。
でももう決めたから。
For what? You can't even fight. Just let Akira do the heavy lifting. It's not like you have much of a choice. Keisuke had always been one to avoid conflict. Akira couldn't believe that he would actually choose to join Igra.
俺さ、どうしたらアキラの助けになれるだろうって考えてたんだ。ずっと。ここに来てみて、トシマがどういう街で、イグラがどんなゲームなのかも。
You know, it would help. Honestly, it would help because then he would be able to provide a stable food source. But are you fucking serious? Like you can't. No, you cannot.
正直怖い。参加するなんて絶対無理だと思った。
Bitch, you can't fight. Keisuke spoke slowly and deliberately. Sorry, I just skipped that. I want to protect you. Okay.
誰を守るって？
Wow! The heart just went out and like bounced off of the cold shell of Akira and just like
Akira.
バカ言うな。
They're so cute. Keisuke bit his lip and hung his head, stricken. Oh, rejected. Look him in the face, Akira spoke quietly.
俺がイグラに参加したのは冤罪を晴らすためだ。けど、イグラにはそんなこと関係ない。入ったら最後、やるかやられるしかない。どっちにしろ、俺はイグラの参加を拒否しても檻の中で死ぬことになってた。こうする以外方法がなかった。
This reminds me of vampire stories.
けどお前は違う。
No, I had no choice but to become a vampire. You had a choice. Bella.
どれだけバカバカしいことを言ってるか分かってるのか。自殺の予告してるのと同じだ。
Yeah. Like suicide in best case scenario. You just reiterated how horrible it could, you know, go for a loser. If Akira defeated Ilrei, they could leave the city together. But was there any guarantee that Keisuke would remain safe until then? Or even afterwards? Like, even if he, you know? He didn't know if he could really protect Keisuke when push comes to shove.
イグラには参加するな。
Why? Keisuke replied hoarsely after a heavy silence, raising his head.
確かに参加したら勝つか死体にならなきゃ出られない。けどアキラ、死ぬ気なんてないだろ。イルレに勝って生きて帰るつもりだろ。
Well, yeah, but that's not a guarantee. It's just something I would like very much. Yes.
だったらアキラがイルレに勝つまで生き残って一緒に街を出ればいい。
But you can survive without joining the games. Have you considered that option?
俺、それまでにできる限りのことをして早くアキラがイルレを倒せるように協力したい。助けたいんだ。
どうするつもりだよ。
俺もタグを集めて全部アキラに渡す。そうすれば
You cannot be serious.
イルレへの挑戦権が早く獲得できるだろ
Baby
う。
cakes. This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna lose. You're gonna be sold into slavery. And I'm going to have to buy you back out because you're useless. You cannot fight.
それに俺が登録して俺の分のタグもアキラに渡せばそれだけで
See,
5枚自動的に手に
That's
入
the
ることにな
thought
る。
process that I was initially thinking he was gonna have.
な、その方がアキラが一人で戦うよ
It's
り
not a
早い
good
よ。
thought process. It's just the first dumb idea that comes to mind. And he is the kind of guy that doesn't think further.
タグを集めるってことがどういう意味か分かってるのか。
Yeah. Keisuke looked away anxiously.
相手を殺さなきゃならない時もある。
Well,
そんな覚
no,
悟。
you just have to
お
like
前にあ
push
るの
them
か？
to the ground.
ルールじゃ背中を地面に当てたら負けなんだろ。だったら
お前が負けたらどうするんだよ。相手はお前を殺すかもしれない。
Lucky. Keisuke bit his lip once before lifting his head to look straight at Akira. When he spoke, his tone was firm.
覚悟してる。
What? Why?
軽々しく口にするな。
Yeah, seriously.
俺一人傍観者でいるなんてできない。少しでも
Baby.
アキラの役に立ちたいんだ。
Baby. You have no idea whether I like you back even. And even if I did, all the more reason that I wouldn't want my honey baby child to join this, you know? Right?
足手まといにならないようにするから。
All Akira could do was sigh. This was how it always went with Keisuke. Despite his usual timidness, he could be unbelievably stubborn when it came to acting for Akira's sake. Love! His eyes now were fixed intently on Akira, as if to say that he wouldn't back down. Akira knew from experience that there was no dissuading him once he got that look. Not bothering to conceal his annoyance, Akira folded his arms and turned away.
俺真剣だから。
勝手にしろ。
The conversation ended there. Akira didn't know what else to say. All he knew was that this was bound to end badly. But he'd made his warnings. If Keisuke wanted to proceed regardless, well, that was in his head, not Akira's. He heard the sound of footsteps approaching, and then a bright voice cut through the tension.
お待たせ。
Hey, Rin, you missed some shit. Akira turned to see a small shape in the distance, half obscured by twilight shadow. It grew quickly in size and clarity, finally resolving into Rin, who was panting as he ran toward them.
とにもあんのクソやじ、フラフラしすぎでさ、あちこち行きすぎなんだよもう。
Achikochi. I love that expression, achikochi. It's so cute.
捕まえられたのか。
そりゃもうさ、見つけたさ当然。てか自分で場所と時間指定しておいていないってどうなの？ってあれ？どうしたの二人とも？なんか暗い顔して。
Let's not get into it. Catching onto the mood, Rin cocked his head quizzically. Keisuke replied with a rueful smile.
大丈夫。ちょっと疲れただけ。
Yikes.
ああ、そうならいいけどさ、もうちょい休んでからにする。
Nah.
いや、行こう。
Rin looked back and forth between Akira and Keisuke for a moment, but then turned and started walking, beckoning them to follow. They followed, the air between them still strained. The glow of the setting sun died away as night fell on Toshima. I'm really curious about Rin's story, like why he's here and stuff. I like Rin. They headed back toward the red light district. Apparently, the person Rin had promised to meet was waiting in an underground bar along the first street Akira had explored. They rounded the corner, and there Akira stopped. There was a crowd in the center of the road, their backs turned toward the trio.
ちょっと何これ？どいてよ、通るんだからさ。
Frowning, Rin tried to push his way through the throng. At first, Akira thought they might be eager spectators, but no, they were much too quiet. A peculiar tension filled the air. Suddenly, the crowd parted, revealing what lay beyond. A pair of tall, hulking men were doing something to a third man, most likely an Igra fighter. By the way they were handling him, it looked like a particularly rough search. The man was standing bolt upright, fully at their mercy. He looked as if he might burst out screaming at any moment. There it is, the scream. Finally, he had had enough. With a pitiful shriek, the man broke away and tried to escape through the crowd. What is happening? A deafening bellow rang out. One of the duo leapt on the man, seized him by the neck, and dragged him to the ground. The crowd watched this unfold without moving a muscle. What? The brown-skinned man sported close-cropped hair and carried a grungy metal pipe in one hand. From the way his thick army coat bulged, it was easy to envision the physique beneath. Aha! Okay, Akira! His teeth were bared in a savage grin. The other man, approaching languidly from behind, had blonde hair bleached to a straw-like texture. His pink parka was thrown wide at the chest, revealing an extraordinary array of tattoos. The long bangs that covered his eyes somehow made his smile more chilling. Rin was frozen in place. Oh, they're executioners. Okay.
やべ、許してくれ、助けてくれよ。
The man cried out, begging for his life. I don't think Wolverine is gonna help you. So these were the executioners. He heard the dull thwack of metal striking flesh, then saw the man topple to the ground face first. It hurts. After skidding along the asphalt, the side of his face was wet with blood, tears, mucus, and drool. Yikes. He's kind of hot. What? Fear warped the man's face. He cowered on the ground, trembling.
あの黒いのがキリオで金髪が軍事っての。あいつらには気をつけなよ。気まぐれだしいい加減だし違反してなくても言いがかりつけて殺しちゃう時あるから。
That's kind. Very cool of them. Rin spat the words with contempt. Meanwhile, a pale Keisuke watched in frozen horror. Still wanna join, bitch?
人を殺すことが快感なんだよ。
I'm just so annoyed. Oh god, they love killing. The executioners laid into the man, kicking him again and again. Their laughter was like shards of glass, stabbing into Akira's ears. Let's leave. Are we still talking about shit, or? The sounds went on for some time. After a while, the man stopped screaming. Blood and foam bubbled from his lips. Had he lost consciousness, or had his soul finally been spent? Oh, yikes. A silence fell so tense that Akira could hear everyone holding their breath. They were all praying that their turn was next, that they would survive if no one else. Why not leave? Why are we still here? Run and the executioners would devour you like rabid dogs. No one could move until the inspection had ended. The one holding the metal pipe, Kiriwaru? Kiriwaru idly prodded... Kiriwa! He's just German now. Kiriwa idly prodded his twitching victim with a foot. The man's blood stained the earth reddish black. I hope he says his name one more time so I can, pronounce it without sounding like a racist. Oh my god, he's gonna throw up. Keisuke was sickly pale. He looked away, a hand pressed to his mouth.
Oi, Pochi!
What? The blonde man Gunji turned and yelled a name. So is it a dog or a cat? Like Tama is a cat name, right? It's like Jewel. And Pochi is a dog's name. Oh god, is it the one clad in black? Oh shoot, no please. I knew that! I've studied. While the executioners continued their pointless bickering, a large dog came running up to them. Oh my god, it is a dog, thank god. Wait, that wasn't a dog. Okay, whatever. Ah, no! Oh god, it wasn't just fan art. It wasn't just fan art, bro. Okay, so he's probably a slave, right? Also, what is with that outfit? Slay. It's like a skirt or something, right? Out of belts. Very interesting. Oh god. It was a man crawling on all fours. How? His hands are tied behind his back. His body encased in hard black leather. Oh, yeah. He was blindfolded, gagged, pierced, and scarred. The leather dug into his sickly white skin, emphasizing the contrast between them. Oh, especially prominent was the surgical scar on its throat. What? The flesh around it was swollen and warped, a sight that made Akira shiver with disgust. Surgical... Wait, so what? His other wounds might have served a decorative function. Or perhaps had no meaning at all, but the one on his throat had clearly been infected as part of some deliberate process. Kiriwaru's big hand gave the dog's head a rough caress, then pushed him towards the beaten man. The man's convulsions had already ceased. What is happening? Wagging his non-existent tail hard enough to make it come off, the dog dove at the man and began rubbing him with his nose. Saliva dripped from his gag as he sniffed.
ああやってタグの所持を確認してんだよ。タグには特殊な匂いの加工がされてるから、あいつはそれを嗅ぎ分ける。
What?
そのためにアルビトロに改造されて調教されてんだ。
What? I'm so confused.
生態は趣味で取られちゃったみたいだけど。
That's what I thought. Oh god. Everything Akira heard made him doubt Arbitro's sanity. Yeah.
あ、何？え？不正してねえってタグ全部あったってさ。
Watching the dog's gestures, Gunji burst out in uncontrollable laughter. Everyone watching shivered.
まあ気持ちよさそうな顔してるし、いいんじゃねえの。
The man had died with the whites of his eyes showing, his mouth stretched wide open in fear.
タマさ、他の奴らどうよ。ついでに書いてくか。
Kiriwa's words made those around him cower.
タマじゃねえっつの。こっちは腹が減ったんだとさ。
Gunji was crouched down with the dog pressing his head insistently against his knee. It was exactly the sort of behavior a real dog would exhibit. Had he completely lost his humanity? What could do that to a person? Oh.
今日は帰るかな。
Guess that's it for today.
帰って飯
Time for some chow. Oh yeah. Kiriwar, who a distinctive way of stretching out the ends of his words, shouldered his metal pipe. Gunji stretched luxuriously, and then the two men started walking. The dog chased after them. Amid the petrifying tension that ruled the space, their carefree manner stood out sharply. Ugh. As it pranced past, the dog abruptly came to a stop, right in front of Akira! Oh gosh, the creature had been a real dog. If the creature had been a real dog, he would doubtless have bared his fangs and loosed a threatening growl. Such was the ferocity of his sudden focus. Oh, bitch, please, no. Gunji tossed his pet a questioning look.
警戒態勢ってな、なんかあんのかよ。
No, there really isn't. There isn't. Why? What? The dog had noticed Akira's tags. Akira had received them from Enan Gwen, but where had they gotten them? His heart pounded in his chest.
お前さ、タマが反応してんだけど。
Kiriwar stepped up and leaned close to Akira, bringing his nose to the other's neckline. Then he raised his face slowly and leered.
なんか匂うのかな。
Smell what? An intense glacial chill spread through Akira. This man was happy. Pure madness, more childlike than anything, shone in his dark eyes. The scent of blood trickled Akira's nose.
行くぞジジイ。そろそろポッツ連れて帰んねえとビトロが切れる。飯の時間だ。
Oh my god, thank you, Gunji. Gunji gave a beckoning wave of his claws. Yeah, with a lazy grunt, Kiriwa rejoined his partners. So what? That's just it? As they walked away, the dog kept turning back. Though blindfolded, his eyes were staring straight at Akira. Once they were finally out of sight, the shackles of fear fell from the crowd. Akira, who was no exception, exhaled the breath that had been trapped in his chest. That was too close. If they'd searched him there... Rin and Keisuke quickly made their way over. What the fuck are these tags?
危なかったね、アキラ。
焦った。本当どうしようかと思った。
Yeah, the people around them kept throwing curious looks at Akira. Akira was no ordinary fighter. His goal was to annihilate Viskio. He needed to keep a low profile.
さて、とんだ邪魔が入っちゃったけど、目的地はもう目と鼻の先だからさ。行こう。
The crowd had begun to scatter, leaving the beaten corpse face down in the street.
あれはあのままなのか。
あ
あ、うん。 死体処理も処刑人の仕事だからね。後で戻ってきて片付けるんじゃないかな。
So that was why he hadn't seen any corpses. The man's remains lay there, attracting hardly a glance, like nothing more than a strangely shaped stone. He had struggled and suffered, spilling his blood like water on the pavement. His cries had sent a chill down the spines of all who heard. But no one bothered with him now, even though he had been treated so cruelly. His was not like the corpses Akira had seen in the past. Those had looked almost as if they were sleeping, and been buried with all due respect. Had those corpses too been defiled? Had they looked like this before someone had claimed them? Yeah. Akira slowly closed his eyes, shutting out the miserable sight. Ah.
足元気ぃつけてね。
Yikes. Okay, you know what? It's been an hour. I'm gonna call it here. Oh, that was a lot. I guess that was like a little taste into what the heck is going to happen in this game. Thank you for sticking around. I'm gonna go wash my eyes. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, drink some tea, live a happy life. Good night, everyone.